Okay, welcome to the second part of Stardust Flightdeck, where we look at the interface for playing Stardust. In this episode I want to carry on and show you the rest of the pull out menu, and then we'll go out for a little fly outside and get some equipment together. The next icon is the inventory icon. Unfortunately, my inventory is empty. It is bereft. Well, almost. There's one tiny little spaceship that I can see I'm currently flying from this circle behind it, but apart from that, I own nothing. Eventually, these boxes will become full up with wondrous goods that you can sell or craft into other stuff. But for the moment, that's all there is. We're going to come back and have a look at this later on when we've shot some stuff and gathered some loot. The next thing we've got is the spaceship equipment screen, and this will show you the strengths and weaknesses of your current spaceship. In this left hand column here we've got a nice icon of our spaceship. Here, currently I haven't done it yet, there will be a bunch of stats like your mass, maximum velocity, the firepower of the spaceship here. On the right hand side we've got a kind of slot driven interface for augmenting your spaceship. You basically got three tiers of equipment that you've got here: the offensive tier, the defensive tier, and the augment tier. And you'll be able to put different pieces of equipment you find or buy into these slots to change how your ship behaves or to modify its statistics. So for instance, in the offensive slots at the top here, you'll put guns and such like to increase your firepower or augmentations for those guns. In the defensive tier will be things like armor plates and shields, and finally in the augmentation row will be kind of miscellaneous stuff that doesn't fit into anything else, like engine modifications and special modifications such as repair. Moving on from there, we've got the character screen, which is pretty undeveloped at the moment. It does kind of show you basic stats of your character, like his name up here, and these are actually the stats stored in the database. You also get to see your current quantity of experience here, which solar system you're in, how much money you've got, which is none, and your current spaceship. What this lovely lady here is going to be doing is she's going to be a paper doll, because not only will you be able to equip different stuff to your spaceship to change its stats, you'll be able to equip different stuff to yourself to change your spaceship's stats and the stats of your crew. Next up is the market screen. This is not done at all. Basically this will be your average kind of auction house thing. Moving on from there is a very rudimentary help screen. This is just for people to remind themselves, and something that's easy to access on mobile phones. I'm kind of in two minds as to whether to keep this, because hopefully I'm going to have some tutorials that will guide you through the game, but it could be useful. Next we have the option screen. This option screen is a bit different from the one in the login screen. You can actually have some effect on the game in here really. Yet again, you've got sliders for the sound effects and the music volume, which is going to stay down there. This use small font doesn't do anything at the moment. I've turned it off for the moment because it was causing me some problems. When you're out flying about, there's kind of like dust around the spaceship and stuff to give you a sense of speed and whatnot. And you got a slider here which you can change the amount. If you're using a mobile phone, I tend to keep it in the lower quarter here, which will give you, I don't know, about 100 bits of Stardust flying around. Up here on the PC you can throw it up as high as you like, so I've got mine showing 500. We've got a bunch of settings over here. If you're playing this on an Android phone, then the main controls for steering the spaceship are in fact tilting the phone. Not all phones are built equal, and a lot of them have sort of a different amount of sensitivity in how much when you tilt them, how much that relates to what's going on the screen. So I've got a bunch of sliders here that allow you to adjust how sensitive that tilt mechanism is on your phone, so you can tailor it. It does make quite a difference on how the spaceship handles, so I would have a fiddle around with that. Basically we've got two sliders at the top called dead zone sliders, and these basically, if you're trying to hold the phone level and still not have your spaceship move, you just want it still in space, then that's the dead zone. So if you increase these sliders over to the right, that dead zone will become bigger, so you can tilt your phone more before your spaceship actually starts moving. If you move these sliders to the left, then it'll become more and more difficult to actually hold your spaceship perfectly straight and level. Then we've got a couple down here which is sensitivity, which means that basically the further you tip your phone, the faster the ship moves. And you can make those so that if you just move your phone a little bit, the ship flies around in a circle, or if you move them right over to the right hand side here, that makes your ship kind of move a bit like a super tanker. It isn't the ship moving like a super tanker, it's just the accelerator, the sensitivity for the accelerator is very, very low. So have a fiddle with those if you're having difficulty flying the ship in Android. They have quite a bit of effect. After the settings, we've then got the exit game or power off button. This is probably the best way to leave the game. It gives everyone a notification that you've left the game, and it cleans up everything properly. Obviously if the game crashes then bad things have probably happened, and that's rather a moot point. And finally we have the mission log. This is largely incomplete at the moment, the mission log. This is kind of like the picture of the guy who's giving you the mission, and over on here will be the actual, on the right hand side will be the kind of storyline to go with it. Accepted any missions, there's nothing to show you. We'll maybe have a look at that a bit later on. Top right hand corner we have the totally non-functioning map button, which is using my placeholder screen. This will obviously show you locations of stuff in space, and will also give you some method for moving to other space stations and planets or to other solar systems. Underneath that we've got the dock button. Whilst you're docked, you're pretty much safe from everything. Pressing this will spit you out of the space station, where you will be at the mercy of anyone else or anything that might be outside the space station. In the lower right hand corner we have the mission screen. This basically allows you to go to different negotiators on the space station who will have a bunch of different things that they might want you to do for money or for experience. This is pretty much not working, but there are a bunch of missions that you can scroll through. Just little test missions that I've got to make sure that that bit of the system works, and you can accept those and they will be put into your quest log. That's pretty much all you can do with them. As you can see, this mission has the imaginative name test. So I've accepted a bunch of missions now. If I go back up to the mission screen and open that, you'll see I now have 3 missions, and I can look through those, and if I had completed the requisite for the mission, then I could press the complete button and get money and rewards. But as I said, this does not really work at the moment. It's just there for work in progress purposes. Below the mission screen we've got the vendor. The right hand panel is the vendor. Vendor's kind of interesting. He stores stuff up that's interesting or valuable, so you can come and buy stuff that other players might have left there. He's also got some basic stuff he always stocks, like these spaceships, this missile and this repair group here. This basically allows you to always have this stuff on hand. If you sell him rubbish with like a little grey marker in the corner, he will throw that rubbish away, but you'll still get paid for it. You can click on these various things and have a look at their stats and whatnot and purchase down here. At the moment I haven't got any money, so I can't buy anything. Okay, and below that we have the non-functioning factory screen. The only reason it's non-functioning is because I have no blueprints or trade goods at the moment. But once I have some blueprints and I have some trade goods, I'll be able to build them into interesting and powerful weapons. This down here in the bottom left hand corner, I would ignore at the moment. That's kind of a mistake. If you do click here though, you might find that you can spin your camera around whilst you're in the space station, so you can look at your glorious space vessel. So that's pretty much what you can do inside the space station at the moment. I'm going to terminate the mission here, and the next video will be actually looking at going outside and having a fly and killing some stuff. So captains, see you in game.